Okay. Hi, my name is Alexander, and this is my teammate Nan. We would first like to say thank you to Sandeep, our mentor, Professor Carney, Professor Q, and all the other MESA directors, and our lovely UCOP coordinators for making this event possible. And thank you again, Nan, for my teammate, for coming in and working intensively to ship our prototype. Let's first go over a brief overview of our product, Study Buddies. Study Buddies is an intelligent community built with PyTorch, an open source machine learning model that integrates directly into Python. We envision it to be a community designed for student success by providing empathetic support to students one-on-one by addressing their anxieties and calming them down, and then refocusing them on their academics, and then providing tutoring through artificial intelligence. Now let's look at the problem. According to the National Bureau of Economic Research, a randomized control trial evaluation found that having a sense of community can be a cost-effective way to increase rates of educational persistence and degree completion among poor and near-poor students. Furthermore, quote, 33% of the poorest community college students said that they benefit from more, quote, one-on-one tutoring because, end quote, they learn better from members of their own community. So let's look at our clients. Our clients are low-income students who are pursuing a degree in STEM, especially students who are in their first year of college. Students who feel like they need more help because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and disadvantaged students who may lack access to educational and community resources required to succeed academically. Now, disadvantage is a little vague, so we mean to say like students who belong to a non-traditional background, or older students, students who come from a disparate community, students from non-traditional sexual gender identities, so students who don't fit societies. So our product is here to service them. So let's look at some current solutions. Nan, would you like to present our current solutions?
Yes, so after identifying the problems, we started researching and trying to understand what we want to do to solve them. So we found that on the market, there exists some other solution that also provide students resources, but we found some drawbacks for some mainstream platforms like Khan Academy, Mathway, Codecademy, Check, or Waffle. Like, they're very expensive and only cater to one learning style. Some require subscription, meanwhile poor students and like middle school or high school students may not be able to afford or maintain monthly subscription to access help. They do not provide an adequate sense of community. For example, Khan Academy is free, but it's very hard to navigate and they force you to watch long videos, which may not be helpful. Check is very expensive. Like, I tried and I'm like, I just did it like for 1 or 2 months and then I stopped. Mathway is also the same. They don't give you full instruction for a lot of problems. Wolfram Alpha is not appealing to younger students and is not very user friendly. And also all of the widgets they have up there are like created by the community, so sometimes it's not very accurate. So we move on to process.
Okay, so to look at our process.
So process is the toughest part for us. So we knew who we want to help and what their needs are, but the hows are the keys for our solution. But the hows are the keys to our solution products. So the 4 questions we had were, how can we effectively share resources that all students can benefit from it? How can we create a community for students that engages them to learn? How can we help foster academic success in low-income students group? And how can we reduce anxiety and burnout in STEM students? And ultimately, how might we design a solution that truly acts to improve a student outlook and aid in their academic success?
So after all of this design process, we followed the human-centered design guidelines, and we used these 4 questions to really refine and give us our central design question, which is, how do we design a solution that truly acts to improve a student's outlook and aid in their academic success? So we made a really nice flowchart, but first let's look at some surveys. So 66% said they wanted a website and 33% said they wanted a Discord bot. Now we looked closer, and out of these 33%, we found that mostly current college students and gamers decided they wanted a Discord community, whereas the website respondees were mostly middle schoolers and older students who are more comfortable in using a website. Overall, all of our students that we interviewed said that they believed that having a sense of community is important for academic success, and they also felt like Khan Academy and Czech lacked in some way. Let's look at our flowchart. So here we have our scheme of our whole project. I know it's a lot, but in our backend, we built a PHP web server that processes calls from our server side and our client side. And it hosts our internal STEM resources on our app for our students, which we'll see momentarily. We built our AI training model with PyTorch Android API, and we hooked it onto our PHP server so it would make calls more efficiently with our Study Buddies Android app. To interface further with this, we built a web application, which is essentially a website, so the students can add either the Android app or the Study Buddies web application. The really cool part is Waffle. We called it Waffle because we thought it's kind of funny, and we made it a little dog because it's really funny, right? So an LSTM model, I bet you're wondering what that acronym stands for. It's standing for a long short-term memory model. So it's built on a machine learning algorithm that PyTorch developed for us. It's a really cool deep learning model that they already went out and laid out a fairly open source tutorial that we could just go ahead and use. We followed our tutorial, and then we were able to integrate that straight into Waffle. Now it's really cool because it allows us to process text and interchange by transactions, meaning that we can access in real time what they're saying and build a library of responses, and then construct a probability index. It indexes every single one of their responses to provide the best response possible based on their emotional states. So this is all contained in Waffle or Discord pod. And then they access the Study Buddies Discord community, which allows them to access Waffle. And then Waffle is also integrated directly into our web application. So I'm gonna cut to Ngan, who's going to put up the Envision slides. So Ngan, are you ready for the Envision slides?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay, so initially we started with the web app. Now I'm gonna show you like how our app looks. So first, this is how it looks like when you're open. Let's start. So you sign up. Okay, don't try to email me. Okay, so we wanted to keep the app very minimalistic because during our survey, we found some people say that other platforms are very hard to navigate. So we keep it simple with just support, resources, and community. Also, we found that gamified application usually create more distraction when we study. So we just want to keep it very minimal. So we use resources. And under resources, we will have classes, calculus, we'll pick differential. And this is one of the example for a problem. Okay, that's it for my prototype. Thank you.
So now I'm going to continue here. So now that we look at our prototype, I want to show you more of an overview of that. So students can access Waffle with the Android app and the website. Waffle is again an intelligent Discord bot built with PyTorch tools, and PyTorch is an open source machine learning framework that accelerates the path from research prototyping to production deployment. And we use mainly these two tools, the Android API and LSTM model. So let's look at the initial build. Nan already showed you this is our website again, and this is an example research page on the website. Let's look at some scenarios. So here, Waffle is able to understand that Nan is having a very bad day at school, and she's concerned about remote learning. So here Waffle is able to refocus her and focus her on her classes, and here she has generated a private link to those resources in the website. Now this link is testing, so we're working on getting that fixed. Here we're looking at graphing, so I'm trying to get the bot to graph a function. This is a basic sine curve. I'm specifying the window between -10 and 10, and then the y-axis between -5 and 5. And so I'm asking for more characteristics now that it's giving me the graph, and it's saying, okay, so these are periodic functions. They have a period of 2 pi, and the domain of each is -infinity to positive infinity, and the range is -1 to 1. As Waffle, why is that case? Can you tell me more? So Waffle is actually intelligent enough to have this pre-drafted reply, but ideally, it's going to say, like, because on the unit circle, 2 pi is a trip all the way around the circle. And that means it's going to illustrate that every 2 pi units, the function's value will be the same. So I'm like, okay, thanks, Waffle. Here's another example where I'm pretending to be a middle school student, and I'm putting another person in the chat. So Waffle was able to recognize that there are 2 people in the chat and respond distinctively to them. I'm asking for the Pythagorean theorem, and then Waffle gives me the formula because most schools might not have the formula. So it's saying a squared plus b squared is c squared. So I'm reconfirming. So c equals root a squared plus b squared. And Waffle's like, yeah. So I'm reconfirming the answer. It's root 74. And Waffle's like, correct, good job. So Waffle will be able to give people just like a quick practice problem to test and reinforce concepts. So here's like a blurry picture, of our code. This is a graphing function. I would show the entire code, but I would be here for much longer than 10 minutes. Here's the basic tutorial format that we followed. We set up our training data, we put in epochs to test, and we overall just used mostly responses from students that we were lucky to have try out and survey, and it's been really good that we've had like this much data to train on. Let's go back. So why study buddies, right? Now, would you like to present this part?
Yeah, so now why would you want to choose to be our study buddy? So it's because we research the existing platforms, and study buddies actually offers things that other platform lacks. So we are students in STEM, so we understand how stressful school can be sometimes. So we focus on that and design for those individual needs. We provide multiple platforms for ease of access, and our products utilize a bot that allow for its private use. This this overcomes any barrier related to stigma and enhances accessibility.
So it's a little bit pretentious, but we're here to enhance accessibility and design for individual needs and allow for private use. So let me just go back, or oops, I'm having some technical difficulties. Just bear with me one sec. Just give me 1 second, sorry.
No worries. But we are running out of time, so just wanted to let you know to get to the conclusion.
Hey.
And if it doesn't work, Alex, you can always just verbally tell us your conclusion as well.
It's working, it's working. So just minimize this. So let's look at our next steps. So some improvements. We'll add more subjects to our libraries. We'll expand upon our resources, and we'll train Waffle to handle more complex conversations. And then we'll provide students with better therapy and support through handling more data. Now, would you like to cover further applications?
Yes, so for further application, we want to have the Waffle available for school districts, like middle school district or high school district, or like my current school district, and like use it for our own community. We want to like Waffle to be like some sort of a boot camp for students to prepare themselves before they take class. We also want to recruit mentors for the server to like a peer mentor, for example, to guide students with their academics. And we want to make Study Buddy available on iOS because we all know that the stock for Apple is going way up right now. So it's good to like focus in iOS. So that's it for us.
Yeah. We would just like to reach out and say thank you to Nan's husband, Wilson, for his valuable business insight, and for Fong, our other designer, who gave us a lot of critiques and value insight. And thank you, everyone. That's it for our presentation.